Hello, and welcome to this Hangout on Air from Suntico. The question today is, can you implement a company-wide account management system in 15 minutes? Today's the 6th of June. I'm afraid that this Hangout on Air is a repeat of the broadcast we did yesterday. Unfortunately, we had account management system for Sage 50 Accounting US edition. That's this Hangout. Canadian edition next week on the 10th of June, or the UK or Irish edition on the 17th of June. My name is Hugh Johnson. I am Senior Vice President of Business Development at Suntico. If you like what you see today, please tell your friends, share it on your social networks. If you don't like what you hear, please tell me. You can reach me on LinkedIn, Google+, Twitter, or by email at hugh.johnson@suntico.com. Firstly, just a bit of positioning about Suntico and our B2B account management solution, and really we would position it right at the heart of the business, because at the end of the day, if you're a business-to-business organization trading with, doing a lot of repeat business with the same customers, at any one time, people across the entire business may be interacting with your customers or your vendors. So within that context, we feel that it's very, very important that an account management solution is a solution for the entire company. And I think when you take a look at Suntico, you can understand why that is. So what else can you do in 15 minutes? I mean, there might be some more interesting things to do. Well, of course, you might cook a meal, or at least Jamie Oliver thinks you can, and he can. I've tried. It takes me about an hour and a half, but I think with a bit of practice I could get it down to maybe 30 minutes. You can have a cup of coffee with your loved one, and of course that's infinitely more pleasurable perhaps than implementing a company-wide account management solution. But at the end of the day, we all have our businesses to run, we all have to do business, so we can't be sitting around drinking coffee all day. But getting a bit more serious, could you put in a company-wide account management system? Why 15 minutes, I say? Well, it's very, very simple. I got this inspiration from Rick Jensen of Constant Contact, and it was actually on a podcast that he did with Marketing Smarts back in October 2012. And one of the things that Rick said was that in today's business, and particularly in today's software business, he likes to deliver that wow factor to his customers within 15 minutes. So I took him to his word, at his word, and that's exactly what I've tried to do with Suntico for our customers. And today I will show that to you. So firstly, what we will do is that you can see in the background, I'm running Sage 50 Accounting. This is the 2015 edition, the very, very latest version. And I've got a sample company open, Bellwether Garden Supply. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Suntico and sign up for a trial account. I'm going to go for the biggest, for a 40-user system. And we're going to sign up and just see how easy it is to get going. So I accept the subscription agreement and the privacy policy, and I'll just verify my email. Oops, I think here we are. Please verify your email address, which I will do now. That'll take me through to registering for my account, and I'm going to sign in as company name Suntico, and give a password. Hope the two match. And yes, I'm in. Here I set up my profile for the company. I'm just accepting all the defaults at the moment. If I want to change these later on, I can come back in and do that. And it's so opening up my account with Suntico now. Now the next thing I need to do is I need to just install a small piece of connector software which will synchronize with my Sage 50 accounting system and push all the data up into Suntico so that I can collaborate and work on that data with my colleagues across the company. So I will download the Suntico connector. And accept to run it. Now, for various technical reasons to do with the Sage interface, it's important actually that you install the connector on the same server that's actually hosting your Sage data. In that particular case, it's this computer that I'm using for the demonstration. One of the things that I know I will need is what's called the registration and activation keys for the connector. Choose to accept that. And another request to accept. And I copy my registration key. Registration keys and the activation keys are very important to verify and tie your account to a particular installation. I select the US edition. I select 2015, which is the version that I'm running, and I select the build number, which there's only one because I'm running on the very, very latest 2015 edition. Now what's going to happen now is that's going back to the Suntico platform to download the appropriate connector software and install it. If you're doing this at home, and I do recommend that you do try doing this, and you're very welcome to try, it is important that you match up the right Sage version and build number when you're installing the connector. If you're not sure what you're running, if you go to your Sage software and just go to Help and About Sage 50 Accounting, here I can see that I'm running the 2015 edition, and there's the build number there. Okay, so if you're not sure, that's where you find out. Go back to the dashboard on Suntico. Now, while this has happened, just to remind you about what's Suntico solution for use by the whole company, and it provides a collaboration service where you and your colleagues can collaborate around the business at hand within the company, whether it's getting an invoice paid, getting an order processed, or following up with a customer regarding a task that needs to be done. Because it ties in securely with your existing Sage accounting software, it means automatically within the 15 minutes, when you first start working with Suntico, you're automatically populated with all the customers and all the suppliers or vendors that you're already trading with. So there's no data migration to do. Now it's detected Bellwether Garden Supply as the company, which I'm going to select. That's the Sage company that I have. Suntico is multi-company. You can actually connect it to multiple companies. But in this particular case, I've only got one company set up within Sage. And it's just establishing that connection, that first-time connection with Sage at the moment. So, as I was saying, the Suntico provides a company-wide account management system through connecting this connector software, which just runs silently in the background. It pre-populates Suntico with all your customer information, the contact information, the addresses, the phone numbers, the previous trading history, your sales orders, your sales invoices, and so on. And the same on the vendor side. Now, if you're dealing with prospects and people that you haven't started trading with, you can also add them within the system. So you can actually add the entire external universe, as it were, that you're dealing with as a company, both your existing trading partners, both customers and vendors, as well as your prospective trading partners. There's the connector client running in the background, just establishing the first connection with Sage, authenticating itself. You can see. So if at any time you want to just check what's going on, you can go down to the bottom corner and have a look at this here. So I'm just going to leave that to work away. Once it's established that connection, I'll be able to switch. It's clearing the company history there. Once it's established that connection, I'll be able to switch from this initial company registration that I put in as Suntico through to Bellwether Garden Supply when that comes through. Let's just have a look and see what's happening. While that's happening, I'll just tell you a little bit more about the connector software and how that's working. So here we can see we've successfully connected to Bellwether Garden Supply. At the moment, the connector is set to time interval live, and what that means is that it'll continuously poll through looking for updates, any updates that you make to the Sage software, and pull those through and publish them up into Suntico. If I wanted, I could relax that, and I could relax it to every 15, 30, 60, or 120 minutes, just looking for the updates. I can control, if I want, what information is synchronized up with Suntico. At the moment, by default, I've got all the entities switched on. But if I didn't want, for example, employee information to come up, I could switch that off. Or if I didn't want any purchase information to come up, I could switch that off as well. But it's actually very useful to have the employee information come up, because that comes through within the user management area. And now you can see actually it's now detected that Bellwether Garden Supply data is coming up. So I'm going to switch to that company now. And we'll just take a quick look at the connector and see what's happening. Okay, so there's information now coming through, and the employees' information has been pushed through, customer information, and the vendor information is coming through now. The first time you load, everything comes through together at the same time. After that, it's just incremental updates, any changes that have happened that come through. So the overhead then, after the initial load, is very light. But if we go to look at what I was saying about the users and the user management, because what it does is it pulls through the user file from the employee file from your Sage 50 accounting. It automatically knows then the other users that you might want to invite to use the system. So even now, while the data is populating for the first time, I could just start inviting the other users that I wanted to start using the system, and just invite them on. And they would get an email, and they can choose to accept that email and join in on the system. I control the profile, the access profile that each of those users have. I can set them up as, we've got 5 different default profiles. You can customize yourself what those different profiles can do. So what information they can see, what they can do with that information. I'm not going to go into all of that in a huge amount of detail because that's been covered in other Hangouts on Air, and you can go to our YouTube account at any one time and browse through those videos and take a look for yourself. Now you can see actually we've got contact information coming through from Sage 50, and I can browse through and just have a look and see if we've got any account information through yet. And yes, we have. There's all the accounts pulled through with balance information and so on. Let's just have a look at the connector software again. It's now pulling in the transaction information. So not just yet. I won't quite have the transaction information in the system yet. But that'll come through in the next couple of minutes. So just to kind of summarize what we've been looking at. All we did in the last few minutes, we went to Suntico, we registered for a free trial on the Sage 50 US edition plan. If you want to do this yourself, you follow exactly the same steps. All the instructions you can find on our website under support, and if you look up synchronizing Sage and Suntico, all the steps I've taken just now are on that website, and you can follow them step by step and do this yourself. Alternatively, you can watch this video. To connect to Sage 50 accounting, we can invite the colleagues, and away you go. It's a web-enabled application, so you can access it from your laptops, from your iPads, from your iPhones, from any Android device. So what we've seen today, in less than 15 minutes, we've managed to implement a company-wide account management system, pre-populated with all the live company data, the customers, the vendors, the contacts, the trading history, everything that you need to get started. The only final thing you need to do now, after your users have accepted, is to book an online training session with us, which just take an hour, and we can step you through how to use the system. Or alternatively, you can figure it out yourself. It's actually very easy to use. If you just go to our YouTube channel and watch the how-to videos, and they can step you through different aspects of the system. So if you like what you've seen here, go to our website and try it for yourself. Let me remind you, coming up next week on the 10th of June, we'll be doing the same demonstration but connecting to Sage 50 Accounting, the Canadian edition, and the week after Sage 50 Accounts for the UK and Irish edition. Now, just to prove that we are all fully connected, just before we switch off, I'm just going to flick back to our system here and just drill down and browse the data here. And all this data has come up from my my Sage 50 accounting software that I have running on this laptop. It doesn't, of course, it doesn't all have to be on the same laptop. If I gave you the logon credentials here, you would see exactly the same thing. And here we have, for example, I hope it's through now. Load sales invoice information, not quite through, but that'll be through in the next couple of minutes. So anyway, trust me, it will be, and there's no point in just sitting here waiting for the screen. So an account management system for the entire company implemented in the time it takes to have a cup of coffee. Ah yes, you see we haven't actually loaded the sales invoices yet. The sales invoices are loading at the moment. there's the sales quotations through. And the rest of the information will follow. Well, thank you very much for watching, and please join us next week. Thank you.